Okay, so we have this next question right here. It says a sportsman hits a ball with a bat. The ball leaves the bat at a speed of 37 meters per second at an angle of 53 degrees to the horizontal as shown. Calculate the horizontal distance traveled by the ball before returning to the height it was hit from. So it's a very simple question. Let's do it step by step. For these kind of question, the first step is to draw the vector diagram. Okay, how will I draw it? So this is your resultant as shown from the diagram, 37 meter per second. This is your resultant line. Now it's very easy. Okay, I'm going to tell you a very easy way. Okay, so you have to reach to this point. Now you can use only up, down, left and right. Okay, so how will I reach here? From this point I will go first right and then I will go up. Okay, simple as that. Right and up. So this way it will form a 90 degree angle, which means it is a right angle triangle. Okay, and this angle is from here it is 53 degree. Okay, now opposite to this angle is sine theta. And if you might get confused, like how will I know what is cos theta? The line which is not your resultant line or sine theta is your always your cos theta. Okay, for example in this. Now you have done your first step. Now let's identify your second step, basically identifying the values that you have been given. So let's do it for the vertical component. Okay, vertical component, right? So for vertical component, what do you have? You have u, which is 37 sine theta, sine angle is 53, and then you have a, gravity, which is 9.81. Now remember a very important thing. Okay, you can only choose your direction of motion, basically where your ball is going. Like if you want to consider that, if your ball is going up, if you want to consider the positive value up, then all of your values that are related to that direction is positive. Like for example, if you select that you have a positive motion of direction upwards, then whatever the values that are facing downwards will be negative, right? For example, in this case it will be gravity. You will have a positive initial velocity, but you will have a negative g, right? So you will have a negative 9.81. Now what else value do we have? We don't have s, and we don't have t as well, and we don't have even v. No, we do have v. Oh wait, yes, we do have v. And you might be wondering, where, dude? I did not see that. So I will tell you a very good strategy. It is that just make the graph into half. Okay, for only vertical component it's valid. Okay, so make it at half. Okay, now the time from here to here will be equal to the time from here to here, right? So v here is 0, right? It's like reaching to a stationary point at the top, right? So if you calculate the time from here, okay, and you should know by now that the time has no restrictions to the components, right? It doesn't matter whether it's a vertical component or a horizontal component, the time will be same. Okay, so if we calculate the time from here to here till v is equal to 0, then it's the same from v is equal to 0 to the end point till here before it returns to the height from where it was hit from. Okay, and you can just multiply it by 2 the time you get from here. Okay, so let's do that quickly. We can use the formula. We have u, we have u, and we have a, we have v as well, and we have to find t. So we can use the equation of motions formula, one of which is it is v is equal to u plus at. So you have u as 0, you have you have v as 0, you have u as 37 sine 53, and you have a as gravity, negative gravity, which is negative 9.81. Okay, let's not write it G. And you need to find T. So let's calculate your value of T, right? If you reassign it, write it properly, this thing will go here. It's negative 37 sine 53 by negative 9.81, and it will be equal to 3.012 seconds, right? Something like that. And you just multiply it by 2 so that you can get the whole journey's time. So it will become, let's see what it will become, 6.02 seconds, right? I have rounded off, but don't use rounded off value for future calculations, okay? Like for the calculation. So you have 6.02 seconds. Now, interesting part. Now let's do the vertical side because we have to calculate the vertical distance, okay? So for vertical distance, right? Sorry, not the vertical, horizontal distance. My bad. Horizontal distance, to do it for horizontal component, right? Horizontal component, and you have u, which is 37 cos 53, right? Cos 53, cos here. You don't have any acceleration. As far as I can see, there is no acceleration given to you, and they basically, even without it, your acceleration is actually zero. Why? Because it's a constant journey. You can even see it from here. It's a constant journey. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to calculate our time if it wasn't a constant journey, because if it's like this is bigger, this side is bigger and this side is smaller, then you can't actually calculate your time, because for the total journey, the time will be different, okay? So your A is 0 meter per second square, and you have, you need to find S, right? And you have T, okay? So from this, we can use the formula S is equals to one of the equations motions formula. S is equals to ut plus 1 by 2 at square. So your S, you need to find your u is 37 cos 57, right? And you have the t value, which is 6.02, and you know a is 0, so this whole thing will be finished, right? That's why if you have seen that normally people just say that S is equals to ut for horizontal components, always use this. That's how we use this, because we always consider that the total, like the total journey had a constant velocity, right? The velocity wasn't changing. So that's why. So that's why we always use S is equals to ut, just acceleration, making acceleration as 0. So now if you calculate this value, you should get 134.1 meters, okay? Rounded off, and it is something like 134 meters, okay? Not even three significant figures. Like normally it's recommended to use two. Why? Because as you can see, two, I can only see two stuff, right? So it's better to just convert it into two significant figures. So it should be 0, okay? 130 meters. So 130 meters. So this is your final answer. I know it's a long video, but I'm just doing it with you so that you don't think I have just written the answer somewhere and I'm just like explaining you how to do it. I just did this whole thing with you, okay? And I'm explaining you step by step on how to do this question, right? It's very simple. You just have to do step by step in order to understand everything, okay? So this is your final answer.